This is Actually, I Meant That, a podcast for those who say what they mean and mean what they say, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. And I will tell you right out the gate, this episode is going to make some people really uncomfortable. A select group of people, and you'll know what I'm talking about in a second. Albeit we have to talk about it because it's something as a 34-year-old child-free woman I've just dealt with a lot in my life. And many of you are going to be able to relate to this, women and men too. So gird your loins, people, we're going there. And oh, baby, this one's going to be heated, pun intended, because today we're talking about people who judge other people for their decision to either have children or not have children in this lifetime. I have a lot to say on this subject as someone with siblings who are 11 and 7 years older than me, who have 3 and 4 children across both of their families. So I have 7 nieces and nephews in total. I've seen a lot. I've witnessed a lot throughout my life when it comes to people having children. I've got a lot to say, so let's get started. There's a lot of gall and audacity from people who genuinely judge other people as if they have a personality flaw for their decision to not have children. And I'm saying to not have children because as a child-free woman in my 30s, I don't really see it from the other side. I don't see people with children getting asked the question, why did you have kids? Why are you having children? I mean, it just feels really weird. A lot of child-free people that I know are not judging people for having kids. It's like, do you, boo. But for those of us who don't, it's as if we're never going to experience joy in this life. We have just completely missed the point of this life. And it's like, what if the point is different for me than it is for you? How about that? Because we're all on our own individual journeys, on our own individual paths, and they are all beautiful and different and unique. Wouldn't it be boring if every single person on this planet had kids? I would be really fucking bored. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the people who don't have kids, thank you. The people who do have kids, thank you. My friends who have kids, I love the entertainment that comes with it. I love the stories. I also, genuinely, I don't want to say empathize with you because I don't have children, but I genuinely have so much compassion for you. I think about all the things that you go through mentally, physically, emotionally, and I do. I really do have so much compassion. So I want to say that right out the gate, that everyone is valid in their experience. I don't get why this is so fucking hard for this Western culture to understand. And going back to what I said earlier, when people do ask child-free women and men, and men don't get it as much as women, I will say that. Just in my experience, I don't know. If you're a guy and you've been asked that, let us know. Shout it out in the comments. Tell us your experiences. I would honestly love to hear about it. But I'm including men and women because I'm sure men get asked this question too. I don't want to completely remove men from the equation who are child-free. But it's crazy that people with children, typically, will ask child-free people why don't they have kids, but nobody asks those parents why they had kids. Nobody asks soon-to-be parents why they want children. Yet child-free women become this just spectacle of a societal case study. It's really fucking weird. So for those who are new here, hi. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Kat. I'm 34 years old. I am child-free, as we know. I have 2 fur babies that are sitting with me right now. I was like, oh, that's sweet of you guys. This is very appropriate for you to be here because I do feel that fur parenting is parenting. You're taking care of a life. I don't care what they look like. I don't care that they have 4 legs and a lot of hair. I don't care that you can crate them sometimes if you go away or you can send them to a dog sitter. No problem. Like, it doesn't matter. You're still taking care of these beings and they are such precious souls and I love them so much. I would live for them, work out for them so that I could thrive and run with them in the park, and I do. And I would also die for them. I would take the bullets for my babies. Betty and Noah, I love you, and I hope you know that. They're sleeping so peacefully as I talk about this very intense subject. Classic. But honestly, as someone who's 34, child-free, I'm living my fucking best life. I really am. This is the choice that I wanted to make. Actually, I didn't really even make it totally. Between the ages of 19 and 28, I would say, I flipped a lot. I mean, in my young 20s when my brain was not fully developed, side note, the brain doesn't fully develop until you're I think 28 years old. That's insane. I shouldn't even say develop, I should say grow. It doesn't reach its full growth point until 28 years old, which is just, again, crazy. I'm just saying, if when I was 20 years old, 21, 22, and I was like, I'm going to have a kid, that honestly, I can't even fucking fathom making that choice now at 34. That it's like complete 180. I can't even fathom making that choice to take care of a human life, to raise them without, well, I don't want to say without trauma. I mean, I feel like that's really hard. I feel like you can get traumatized with anything, not just your parents. But as a parent, these are things that child-free people take into such high consideration, at least every single child-free person I've talked to. And I think that is so fucking empathetic. I think that is so compassionate. And I'm not saying parents who have kids aren't compassionate. I'm not saying that at all to you. I think it's great that you guys are parents who are taking care of your children, who are raising them to be emotionally fluent, who are raising them to be vulnerable and expressive and holding themselves accountable for things. I think that is so beautiful, and thank you for that. But let me say, there are a lot of fucking people in this world. I don't even need to say it. There are a lot of people in this world who probably shouldn't be parents. And they are. And I think we're way too casual about it. I think we are way too casual about birthing human life. I think it's too casual. Ever since I was young, when I was 7 years old, I kid you not, I would walk around, meet my mom's friends or friends of her friends, and they'd be pregnant or they just had a baby. And I remember at 7 fucking years old, I was like, did you just act casual about having a baby? Like, I'll never forget this. And I still feel that way. I don't think we're talking about this enough. That's insane. Whether it's a woman having a baby naturally or she adopts or she has a surrogate, it doesn't fucking matter. It is miraculous. Like, I don't think we are elevating this enough. This should be prioritized. It should be held on a pedestal. I just think that is so excruciating. Like, in my brain, it is like, holy shit, I cannot imagine going through that. And like I told you, I have a sister who's 11 years older than me who had her first baby when I was 19. So I was a very young auntie to my godson. And I was living at home in between college at my parents' house, and my sister and my brother-in-law were also living in the basement where my parents have like this little apartment kind of setup going on. So they stayed down there, and I got to witness this at a very young age. And throughout that time, like as these kids were growing up, because between both of my siblings, they have 7 kids. So I am very full with children in my life. I love them all so much. And it's just like, I remember seeing these moments of exhaustion, seeing how draining it was. My sister's birth experiences, which is not my story to tell, but just seeing how scary it was sometimes. And I know that it's not like this for everybody, but the fact that people are just like, just do it. It's great. It's like, how do you even fucking know? You don't know people. Like, you don't know genetics. You don't know what's going to happen. It's just so irresponsible to me to throw that around. I'm sorry. I'm sounding like such a fucking Karen right now, but it's not a Karen. I'm being responsible. I don't understand how people are so casual about having kids. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I'm never going to understand it. I just am never going to. It does not mean that you shouldn't have kids or that I don't love that some of you have kids because it was your dream in life. I think that is so amazing. And again, us child-free people, we see it like that. I don't think a lot of us want to judge you. I just think people are tired of being judged for not choosing what you chose into. I think people need to understand, people like me who have siblings who are significantly older, you see a lot, you observe a lot, and you're educated about it, and you decide pretty early on, like, this might not be for me. Like, there was a time I was genuinely going to have a child. At 24 years old, like, I really thought about that. In my young 20s, when my brain wasn't even developed. Can't even fucking believe it. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of child-free women on this note, women I'm saying specifically because I see it a lot on social media, talk about how people ask them that question of like, why don't you have kids? I don't know why this happens. Probably because I don't surround myself with people. Like, I try to limit my interactions with humans as often as possible. I do, because I don't want to be asked these questions. Or, and we're going to talk about this more on this episode, but it's becoming more normalized and common not to start a family and not to have kids. Human children, because these fur babies, they qualify. They really do. I have asked people many times in this lifetime, why do you have kids? Why do you want kids? I just am curious. I mean, if they're curious about why I don't want them or why I'm not having them, then can I ask the same question? And I have. And it's really pissed people off because then I met with responses as far as like the economical status that, oh, you can't put a price tag on kids, bitch. Yes, you can. You can put a price tag on children, especially in today's world. You can. And you should. Honestly, you should be thinking about these things. These are things people are not thinking about. Like, it is an investment. It is. It just is. I mean, women in America get hospital bills if you're having a baby naturally, even adoption. Let's not even go there. I'm not an expert on this stuff. Okay, I'm not. But from a financial perspective, in the United States, women know better than anyone who have had kids in the hospital that it's like $150,000. And these hospitals don't even know what they're charging. Like, the medical system, the healthcare system is so jacked, and it is just weird. They don't even know what they're fucking charging you for. It's insane. So, yeah, you can put a price tag on it, and you should. It's just, oh my God. It makes no sense to me. And this is why more women are child-free by choice than ever before. In 2021, Pew Research found 44% of non-parents between the ages of 18 and 49 say that it's unlikely they'll ever have kids. Now, that was in 2021. That was 4 years ago. Just 3 years before that study dropped, it was at 37% that non-parents were saying they'll probably never be likely to have kids. That's a huge jump. So 44%, it's probably at like 50 at least now, 50, 60%. I don't want to say it's not smart to have children. Some of you really have thought all of this through. You understand that. And we appreciate that. I appreciate that as a human in this society. But a lot of people don't think about that. And then they traumatize their children and they repeat the same fucking cycles that they were supposed to heal. Oh, it's a tragedy. It really is. Even globally, birth rates are declining, which actually surprised me because in other countries, you would think that people would be more inclined to, just given their healthcare system. When I told you about the hospital bills, women saying, oh, I've literally had a woman tell me she was charged $150,000 after having her first baby. That's fucking asinine. Well, I was in Ireland back in September, and I was at this like dollhouse style Airbnb. It was so European, so cute. And there was this woman from Norway there. She was a doctor, and I was sitting at the brunch table in the morning, and she comes down, and she's like, how are you? Nice to meet you. And she's telling me about her kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I don't know how this even happened, but I think because we were talking about medicine, and she was there for a medical conference, I was like, can you, if you're open to it, share more about your birth experience? And she was like, oh, yeah, of course. She's like, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with my first child, and I paid $500. That's it. They kept me there because they wanted to make sure I was good. All my levels were good, that my blood pressure was in check. They just wanted to make sure baby was safe. We bonded during that time. And I'm like, wow. Like, I could literally feel my body getting lighter. And the unfortunate reality is that as a woman in the United States especially, this is something you have to think about. You can't just be throwing this around. I mean, like, I understand sometimes things happen, but Lord, it's just something you really have to think about. And we have the chance to think about it. So think about it. Be more critical, really. But all that said, even the global fertility rate has dropped in half since 1950. U.S. birth rates are at record lows. The CDC reported a decline in birth rates every year since 2007, with 2023 hitting the lowest rate in over a century. And someone in my life who has always wanted kids, ever since I knew her, and I've known her for a very long time, my sister-in-law, I was like, if there's anyone who should have kids, it's my sister-in-law. Because she just has, I don't know, she just has that vibe to me. Like, she just does. And even if you don't have that vibe, that does not mean you're not going to be a great mom. That's not what I'm saying. But I just always thought, because she always seemed to want children. And she has 4 beautiful kids now, but even my sister-in-law is like, just make sure that's what you want to do. Because it's a lot of work. It's mentally, emotionally, physically taxing. There's so much you have to think about. Another thing is, I don't think people take enough time to have compassion for those of us who are child-free and think about the brain, okay, and what we can handle. I can barely handle driving sometimes. Like, sometimes I get anxious at random. My menstrual cycles, oh my God, I get so much anxiety over my dogs too. Can you fucking imagine me having a human child? Because that child becomes an adolescent who becomes an adult. Now I'm having to worry about them driving. Now I'm having to worry about them go to college and all the mistakes. Oh my God, like, I can't. I also have issues that I'm trying to heal with control over things because I was raised in an environment of control. I don't want to pass that shit down to a kid. I don't want to do that. And people should be clapping for those of us who are thinking through these things, not saying, oh, well, you're just doing such a disservice. Have fun dying alone and being miserable for the rest of your life and never experiencing joy. That is fucking crazy for you to say. I find joy in so many things, like my fur babies, like my family, like my nieces and nephews. I love them. They're not my kids, but they are. They are my kids. I find joy in traveling. I love my work. My work is like inner child healing for me. I love so much. I love my life. I love my life and I don't need kids to feel joy. And I know that's a foreign concept to some of you, but I just don't. Why are we even having to explain this? There's so much conditioning. And it's like the people who say these things are usually the people who are like spewing out Bible verses. It's like if you were actually that godly, and I will tell you, I believe in God, okay? That's my personal belief. You don't have to. I have friends who are atheists. I don't fucking judge because at the end of the day, no one really knows what the fuck is going on, okay? That's a whole separate episode, and I promised you we're doing an episode on this because it fires me up. I don't understand how you can be so godly and then judge people so harshly. You're not the judge. You're not superior. You're not above other people because you chose to have children. We understand that you have this joy that is indescribable. Okay, let me get spiritual for a second. This is going to sound really, really strange, okay? I was with a psychic medium way back, like over a year ago at this point, and I think it was like 2 years ago, almost. And she was sitting there telling me, you don't need, like, you can have kids in this life, but you also don't need them. She's like, you already paid your karmic debt. I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, this lifetime, you really don't need that karmic baggage. She called children karmic baggage. I was like, fuck. Damn. Okay, well, then I was parents before all of you were, so we're even. Okay? I probably had like 15 kids in a past life, and we did witchcraft together and spells. I don't know what we did. Or I was like the village whore. I don't know what happened, but I had kids, and I know in a past life I was a really fucking good mom. Or dad. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I was a guy. I feel that because the love that I have for my babies who are currently sleeping on my foot and right in front of me, I love my fur children so much. They are my babies. Like, I almost feel like Noah, my eldest, was a human child from a past life, but a daughter that I had, because everyone thinks he's a girl, number one. I don't know. I just feel this weird, like, daughter vibe from him. It's just very strange. And I always tell him, oh, she's so pretty. Like, I'm not trying to make him out to be a girl, but I'm dead ass serious. But my babies are so special to me. And when people say, the joy you have when you have a kid, like when you first see that child, whether you had a baby naturally, whether you went through adoption, you did surrogacy, like whatever, it was a rainbow baby, like whatever the situation, it is this indescribable joy. And when I tell you I feel so deeply for people, and I don't say I'm an empath in a way of, oh, I'm just so much better than people. This is not spiritual superiority. That is not what I'm getting at. Being empathic is very painful. Actually, and we don't talk about that enough, but we'll save that for the spiritual episode. Okay, I don't want to waste your time today. But I can feel very deeply for people. So when they say about this indescribable feeling, I can literally feel it in my body. I know I've never experienced it, but I can get really fucking close to what that would feel like, to where it brings me to fucking tears, that joy. But at the same time, even though I feel that, I still don't want that. Like, I honestly don't want it. I'm good. Because it's not just the joy, it's not just the highlight reel, it's everything that comes with raising a human life. There is such a significant responsibility there. Significant. And if you're not a present parent, it will show up. It does. I mean, you can be a present parent physically, but if you're not a present parent emotionally, and you still suppress your feelings and you encourage that for your children, you're doing them a major disservice. And it's really sad to see. It really is. I hate seeing it. But that's life. Thus is life. People are going to continue to do it. And they're going to continue to be emotionally and intellectually very irresponsible by just popping out children at random because, oh, but I thought I was supposed to. Well, that's another thing. The number of people, especially men who I've dated, who I've asked, why do you want kids? Seriously, I'm genuinely asking. I'm not being an asshole. They're like, oh, well, it's because it's what you're supposed to do. It's like, sir, wait a minute. Who said that you're supposed to do that? This is the problem. So I remember with my ex, I was telling him, we had a lot of conversations about it. Like, we both were flip-flopping back and forth. And he was very open with me about it. We would have these like really cathartic, healing conversations. And I was like, is there any other reason? And he's like, well, I want to, throw the baseball in the backyard. And I'm like, well, that also sounds like a highlight reel, which is totally fine. And that's valid. That's totally valid. I'm not trying to invalidate people's reasoning for having children. But what about like being a parent? No one is like, why are people not saying this? I want to be a parent. I want to raise a child who's, hopefully going to help humanity. But you can't even bank on that. You just can't even bank on that. You can't. I think maybe the odds are likely if you're there emotionally for them, yes. But you can't bank on how your child is going to evolve and grow in their own journey. And so, really, what is the reason? And I hope people are thinking about that. I'm not saying to not have a child, but because it is a very real and valid dream for a lot of people, but really think through the reasoning behind that and make sure you're being responsible. That's all I can say. And with all of that said, on the flip side, when people ask, well, do you want kids? I don't think that's always malicious. I think we are very protective of our choices in this life because we've been judged so harshly that sometimes the minute someone asks that question, people go crazy. They're like, you're not supposed to ask me that. And it's like, okay, we know, truly, is it super appropriate to always ask people that? No. It's probably just best to let people tell you. Just let them tell you. You don't need to know if they want kids. You don't need to know how they're getting married or if they're getting engaged or whatever. You don't need to know. Nobody really needs to know. But I think genuinely people just want to have that connection and conversation a lot of the times. So I don't think it's malicious. And I do think we can be a little bit jumpy to that reaction. And I get it. Some people are just curious. Some people, a lot of people, are projecting because not only will they ask the question, but those people will typically follow it up with, well, maybe you'll change your mind. No, I'm telling you right now today, I'm not there. Another thing that I think is a little bit insensitive when you tell someone, no, I'm not interested in that. You don't even have to tell anyone, by the way. You can leave the room. You literally don't have to answer anyone. Who gives a fuck? You can leave the room. If it really makes you so annoyed, just leave. Just walk out. Do yourself a favor. You don't have to do them a favor, but do yourself a favor and leave the room. Remove your energy from it. But another thing people say a lot is never say never. It's no, I'm saying that because truly, I had a client in the past when I had a video marketing consulting business, and she had so much pain, and she's young. She's in her 30s. I think she's my age, maybe a year younger or a year older, but she got her tubes tied because of this pain. And she was like, well, I'm never going to have kids. I don't want kids. She has her niece, and she's just so happy, and she's such a joyful person too, and she loves life, and she loves her life and all that comes with it. And she made that choice, and I was celebrating her. I was really happy for her. People should be celebrated for starting businesses. People should be celebrated for getting promotions at work. People should be celebrated for going on that trip by themselves. I do a lot of solo travel, and people are constantly asking me, how do you feel comfortable? How do you do that? I want to do that so badly for myself. And I think that's something to celebrate. That's an expression of joy and freedom and liberation in this life. But here we are, the only things we celebrate are marriages and weddings half the time. And I get that somebody once told me years ago, he was like, well, that's more relatable. And I'm like, but it's not though. That's not really that relatable to me. I mean, I'm divorced. I was married. So I can understand that part, but I didn't need to get married. I just didn't need to get married. Not because I didn't want commitment. It was just I didn't need to do that to prove my love to someone. There's a lot of conditioning in this world and these rules that people have made up, and they base it on the Bible. And then those same people are judging people for using crystals. They're judging people for, doing oracle card readings or going to psychic mediums or whatever it is, journaling, whatever. And it's go to God. And it's okay, yes, but you're reading a Bible. That's a 3-dimensional tool that you are using physically to guide yourself on your spiritual journey. So stop judging. Oh my God, stop judging other people. I can't stand it. I'm saving that for another episode. Anyway, moving on. If somebody says to you, do you want kids? I actually asked ChatGPT this because I was like, how would you even respond? So anyway, okay, response option 1, you can be neutral and direct, says ChatGPT. You can say, nope, kids aren't in the plan. I love my freedom too much. See, I don't even think you need to fucking say that. Just leave. To me, it's just walk out. If you really want to be nice and cordial, you can say that. Keep it neutral. Response option 2, you can mirror the question, which we love. Interesting. What made you decide to have kids? I feel like that's very petty, but I'm here for it. Just level the playing field. Why not? I mean, come on. You're asking them basically the same thing. Why not? Response option 3 is energetic boundary. So you either leave, that's me saying this, ChatGPT says, you respond with, that's not something I really talk about unless we're close, but I appreciate your curiosity. Don't even say that last part. To me, ChatGPT calls this an elegant clapback. If you'd like to be elegant, you can. I don't think that deserves elegance. I feel like, too, you see these videos of Chelsea Handler, for example. Chelsea Handler's so controversial. Everybody, oh my God, everybody's all up in her shit. It's like, just let her do what she wants. She's fucking living her best life. She's living her best life. Who cares? Let her wake up at 6 in the morning, not have to take care of kids. And she's very vocal about this, and she loves her fucking life. I think it's just so genuinely difficult for some people to understand. And I get that you feel so much joy and you want other people to feel that. But I also want people to feel joy by starting their own business. I also want people to feel joy by traveling solo. But that does not mean those things are for people. You can ask my friends. I'm always like, oh my God, you need to start a business. My one friend is really into fragrance. And I'm like, when are you going to start a perfume line? Like, I would die. She's so good at it. When I even told her, when are you just going to start a channel? Like, I want to watch you on YouTube. And she's so charismatic and she's so fucking funny. And she's great. And she's very sweet. Like, she has that Cancerian energy. God, love all of my friends are Cancers. I swear, almost all of my friends are Cancers. A Sagittarius loves a Cancer. We love you guys. They go deep with us. But I tell her that, and she's like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's just not for me. And I'm like, you're right. Like, I need to stop. Because I know the joy of doing what I love and monetizing it. Like, I know the joy of that, but that does not mean that other people want to fucking do that with their lives. It's the same goes for kids and getting married, like, or living here and not living there, or getting a house versus renting. Like, who the fuck cares? Let people do what they want. It's not affecting your life in any way, shape, or form. If someone chooses not to have kids, it is not affecting your life. Be happy with your family. Keep living it up with your kids. Keep loving them and raising them and playing with them, and just STFU about everybody else's choices. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sorry, not sorry. This subject just really grinds my fucking gears because it's not just about the kids thing. There's just so many things too. Like, if a woman is struggling with infertility, like, why would you even ask? Just don't even ask. Just don't even ask. You don't know her situation. And of course, some people might not get upset by that, but not everyone's the same. Like, if I were struggling with infertility personally and someone said, oh, are you going to start a family? I wouldn't get upset about that because I'm like, well, they didn't know. I do have compassion for that. I get it. Like I said, some people are just curious. But it gets to a point sometimes with some people, again, where they jump into that judgment and then you're like, fuck, I'm bolting. I'm out. Like, I'm not dealing with this today. That's when it starts to get way too invasive and inappropriate, in my opinion. Like, just stop. Stop judging. It's so fucking weird. It is so fucking weird. Like, the moral of the story here is that if you have kids and you chose to have kids because you wanted that fulfillment in your life, you're valid. We love that for you. On the flip side, if you're child-free in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and you're like, I'm never doing that, that's valid. And we love that for you. All of it is sacred because all of it means choosing yourself and what you want in this life. That's it. You know how many people too who have had kids and regretted having children? I couldn't forgive myself. I mean, there are women who have babies and they go into psychosis. Like that one chick, I'm sorry, I'm talking real big extremes now, but with the postpartum stuff, she seriously went into postpartum psychosis. And this, you've seen so many stories about this in the news. And it's like they go into this psychosis and they murder their own children. Like, people are not talking about this enough. And there's not enough care, at least in the United fucking States, to help them. It's insane. So you're choosing whatever you feel in your life is the most liberating choice. Some of you have children and you were put in really bad situations. And I don't ever want to dismiss that from this conversation. And I feel for you so deeply. That is a completely separate conversation. But I'm talking about the people who are actively choosing, who have that choice to have children, the people who have the choice not to and make that choice not to. I just think there's like some FOMO projections people have for other people. It's like you're literally having the fear of missing out on behalf of someone else who isn't you. It's like, but you already have that. Like, you're fulfilled. You're good. Be happy with what you have and stay focused on your family. No one's judging you for that. I'm not judging you. I would never. I think it's great if you have a family and you always wanted a family and that's your dream realized. I am so fucking happy for you. I love seeing those stories. But I also love seeing people like me who are really happy with what they have without kids. I'm genuinely so happy. My brain is okay. Well, sometimes my therapist might disagree, but I'm really happy with my life, and I'm happy that I wake up every day and I have my 2 fur babies, which also, like, honestly, this stresses me out sometimes too, like, keeping them alive. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know everybody's like, "It's just dogs." I'm like, "You don't understand. They're Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. They are children. All dogs are children. All animals, like, I don't care if you have a rabbit, if you have a cat. Oh, I can't. We need a cat, but I'm afraid these 2 are gonna terrorize the cat. These are children. They're babies, and they rely on me to stay alive, to be happy, to experience joy, and I wanna take them on a trip to London so bad. I wanna take them to England, because that's where they're from. They're Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. That's where they're from, and they deserve to be there in their homeland. She's so cute. Moral of the story is, whether you choose to have kids or not choose to have kids, you're creating a life you want, and that's what matters, and I think that's fucking badass no matter what. Like, I think that's such a baddie move of you as a woman, as a man, whatever. People also see a lot of highlight reels on social media. They see these outfits of the day and people dressing their children up. They're not seeing the tantrums. They're not seeing the crying in the middle of the night, the having to get up. Some people do post content like this, and I do appreciate it. It's like, I like to see that because it's real. It's just, we're not seeing enough of that. So if you've ever felt like the odd one out in this life because you don't want to push a stroller through Target, you're not alone. Not by any means. We're here for you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you if you are one who has babies and children and you push a stroller through Target. There's nothing wrong with either of us, okay? We're just different. You don't owe anyone an explanation either way. End scene. Whew, I'm done now. I think that's about it for today. Off my soapbox we go. That was actually really freeing. That felt really fucking good. Thanks for listening. And if you're mad about it, still, thanks for listening. I appreciate you. Every Thursday, new episodes of Actually I Meant That come out wherever you stream your podcast or watch your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's all there for you. I love being here. I love talking about these things because this is my deep space of the internet. I'm here for this. If you love it, make sure you subscribe to Actually I Meant That on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's at Actually I Meant That on both platforms. And I will see you guys next time. Love you.